My name is Joshua Reuter, and this is my Physics 1 Lab 4, where we'll be observing the oscillating mass on a spring and its motion and energy related with it. Yeah, and the key points involved with this lab. Second, we'll discuss important formulas that are necessary to do the tasks at hand. Third, we'll analyze the motion of the oscillating mass. Then we'll discuss the computational models that were developed through our code. For 5, we'll look at and analyze the models we developed. 6, we'll talk about conclusions and reflections after this lab. Key concepts that are required in this lab include Newton's second law and momentum principle, as well as the energy principle and the concepts of energy and work. Formulas required for this lab include the velocity update formula, position update formula, spring force formula, kinetic energy formula, gravitational potential energy formula, and spring potential energy. Also, the total energy equation is also required, which is the sum of all energies in the system. Here is a computational model that shows on the left a spring in the free body diagram while the spring is compressed, and on the right there is a free body diagram showing when the spring is stretched and the free body diagram related with it, the red being the force due to gravity and the black being the spring force. Here's a video that shows the provided video running on the tracker program, where it will collect the data on the right hand side and plot the points needed to create our necessary models that we will discuss later in this video. My code for this lab. On the left is mostly the setup, and on the right we can see where I calculated the force of the spring, the net force, and the force of gravity, as well as calculated the total energy change at the bottom of the screen. The graph of the change in energy versus time, where in the red I have the change in the gravitational potential energy, and the green is the change in the spring potential energy. Blue is the change in kinetic energy, and the orange is the total change in energy. As you can notice, the change in energy remains constant at 0 because this is a closed system where the potential energies of red and green are opposite of each other with a little variation due to the kinetic energy. So at any given point on this graph, the sum of the energies is equal to 0. The predicted versus the observed motion, position of the mass throughout the experiment. These numbers were gathered through Tracker. The conclusion questions asks whether or not the energy principle is satisfied. The energy principle satisfied would require there to be no work done and the change of energy equal to 0, which is exactly what we see in this lab. This is backed by the graphs I've shown previously and the data we received from Tracker. The reason there is deviation in the position versus time graphs is because of the period. Errors in calculating the period oscillation or the lack thereof would lead to minor errors in the position graph.